Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like over on Prizepicks for the Week 7 NFL slate. We're going to talk through some props I like for the games on Sunday. We do have a double header for Monday night, so I'm excited for that. We'll have a separate video out for Monday Night Football. I'll probably post that sometime later on Sunday night. But this video is going live on Saturday afternoon when I'm recording this. Got you guys 3 plays that I like for the Sunday slate of NFL games, and as always, we're going to break down these plays. We're going to discuss why I like them. Now, before we do get started, guys, make sure you hit that like button down below if you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, and make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. Also, if you guys are new to Prizepicks and if you don't have an account over there, use that promo code NOAH when you sign up, and when you place your first lineup, you'll get $50 instantly added to your account in promo funds, which you can use towards additional lineups, and then in any money you win off those lineups, you can choose to withdraw if you do so, choose to do so. But definitely check out Prizepicks, guys, and make sure to use that code NOAH at sign up. And I do also want to give a shout out to Sleeper, because we do have a partnership with Sleeper too. And if you guys want to sign up for Sleeper, you can do so linked down below in the description, or just download the Sleeper app, make a deposit, use code NOAH, and when you make your deposit with code NOAH, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So if you put in $100, Sleeper will match that, and they'll give you an additional $100 to play with. So check them out, guys. They're a similar app to Prizepicks, really simple, self-explanatory, easy to use. You're just picking more or less on player projections. You're building out your entry. You can make up to an 8-pick entry on Sleeper, and you can win up to 100x your money. So go check them out, guys. And again, make sure to use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up. But let's talk through some props that I'm liking for the Sunday slate of NFL games. Got 3 plays that we're going to share in this video, guys. So let's go ahead and break them down. So the first prop that I'm liking for Sunday is going to be a David Njoku prop. And I like David Njoku for more than 4.5 receptions. So we've only seen David Njoku play in 3 games this season. He did play week 1, but then got injured and was out for a few games. And then he returned, and in their last 2 games has had 1 and 5 receptions. In week 1 against Dallas, he did have 5 targets, 4 receptions in that game. The reason I like this prop on Njoku, though, is that the Browns, they did trade away Amari Cooper. And Amari Cooper, although his numbers with Cleveland this year were not very good, he was getting a ton of volume and a ton of opportunity. Cooper was averaging nearly 9 targets per game with Cleveland this season. He just wasn't really doing much with those targets. A lot of those balls deep downfield were inaccurate. He wasn't able to catch them, largely due to kind of Deshaun Watson's poor play. And Deshaun Watson's poor play is a little bit of a concern for me with this Njoku prop. But one thing about Njoku, different from Amari Cooper, is that Njoku does have a shorter A-dot, so he does run a lot of routes shorter, closer to the line of scrimmage. He's not running a bunch of vertical deep routes down the field. So Njoku's a guy that could see 5 or 6 targets here and still get 5 receptions. Whereas, Amari Cooper, he had games where he saw week 1 against Dallas, he had 9 targets and only 2 receptions. I would be very surprised if that happens for Njoku here. If Njoku gets 6 or 7 targets, he should have a pretty good chance of getting 5 receptions. You look at his targets prop on Prizepicks, it's set at 6.5. Honestly, I kind of like the over on that as well, because I just think Njoku's going to be the guy that kind of takes over as the top target for Deshaun Watson now that the Browns don't have Amari Cooper. And if you look at the other wide receivers for this Browns team, they did trade for Jerry Jeudy, but Jerry Jeudy has not really done much with Cleveland this season. He's also not been a guy that has gotten a bunch of volume. The last 2 games, he's only seen 3 targets in both games. And then they have Elijah Moore, who, again, has not done much this season. Cedric Tillman, a young rookie, or a young player, not a rookie, but a young player that just hasn't done much since he's been in the NFL. And then Jamari Thrash, another rookie. I believe he's out of Louisville. I don't even think he's played at all this season. He's kind of just been inactive. Maybe he'll play more now that they don't have Amari Cooper. But there's not a ton of volume hogging wide receivers on this Browns team. Maybe Jerry Jeudy is the guy that gets a bigger bump in target share, but I think the guy that gets the biggest bump in opportunity and target share without Amari Cooper is going to be David Njoku. So I do like David Njoku for more than 4.5 receptions here. Also like him for more than 6.5 targets. And you look at this matchup against Cincinnati. The Bengals this season, they rank about middle of the pack in terms of receptions allowed to the tight end position. But if you look at the tight ends they did face Mark Andrews, but Mark Andrews has not been as good this season. Mark Andrews did still have 4 catches for 55 yards against Cincinnati. They faced Zach Ertz, Austin Hooper, Theo Johnson, Hunter Henry. Like, they haven't faced very many good tight ends. Now, Travis Kelce did only have one catch for 5 yards against Cincinnati, but that was also at the beginning of the season when Travis Kelce wasn't playing very well. Travis Kelce's been playing a lot better lately, and he's looked like the Travis Kelce that we know he is. But I think the matchup here is fine for Njoku. This is a spot where Cleveland are, they're 5.5-point underdogs, so Cleveland's probably going to be playing from behind, probably going to be forced to throw. You look at Deshaun Watson's pass attempts line for this week. He's got a 31 pass attempts line. If Deshaun Watson comes anywhere near 31 pass attempts, I think we got a good chance of getting 6-7 targets for Njoku and 5 receptions as well. And looking at DraftKings Sportsbook, most sportsbooks are favoring the over on this receptions prop for Njoku. So I do like that as our first play for Sunday. Next play I like is going to be a targets prop, and we're going to look at Kyle Pitts. I like Kyle Pitts for more than 4.5 targets. So Kyle Pitts this season, it's been a very up and down season for Pitts. I mean, he hasn't done much overall, but he's still been getting like decent volume, and especially the last 2 weeks, you've seen the volume be more consistent for Pitts. Got 8 targets against Tampa Bay, and then had 5 targets last week against Carolina. Pitts has had 13 targets over the last 2 games after only getting 16 targets in their first 4 games. So he's been a lot more involved as of late. And this is a pretty good matchup against Seattle. Seattle has been a pretty good matchup for tight ends this season. If you look at where they rank in terms of like receptions, receiving yards, targets allowed to the tight end position, Seattle is giving up the 8th most targets, 8th most receptions, and 4th most receiving yards to the tight end position. And if you look at what tight ends have done in terms of like their volume against Seattle this season, I know Hunter Henry had a big game against the Seahawks. He got like 12 targets. I think George Kittle had a 6-target game. Yeah, Hunter Henry had 8 catches, 109 yards on 12 targets against Seattle. George Kittle had 5 catches, 58 yards, 2 touchdowns on 6 targets. Sam Laporta, 4 catches, 53 yards on 4 targets. Even Theo Johnson had 5 catches, 48 yards on 5 targets. So, I mean, Theo Johnson, Hunter Henry, George Kittle, they've all faced Seattle. They've all gotten at least 5 targets against this Seahawks team. I think we can definitely get 5 targets here for Kyle Pitts. And if you look at Pitts' receptions prop, that line is set at 3.5. Feel like if Pitts goes over this receptions line, he's easily going to go over his targets line. You look at his last 5 games, he's only gone over his receptions line once in his last 5 games, but he's gone over his targets line in 3 of those 5 games. Maybe Pitts gets 4 targets and 4 receptions, but I think that's pretty unlikely. I think more times than not, if he gets 4 receptions, he's also going to get 5 targets. So I do like Pitts for more than 5 targets here. I think it's a good matchup against Seattle. It's a great game environment too. You look at this Seahawks-Atlanta game, it's got one of the highest totals on the slate, 51. It's going to be played in a dome, so no weather concerns or anything like that. I think we could definitely see a shootout in this Seahawks-Falcons game, and if that's the case, if Kirk Cousins is going to be throwing the ball all around, I think we got a good chance of getting 5 targets here for Pitts. And looking at Underdog does do targets projections as well. They have their line on Pitts set at 5. We're getting it at 4.5 on Prizepicks. Definitely like the over of 4.5 targets for Pitts on Prizepicks. That'll be our second play for Sunday. And then the third and final prop that I like for Sunday's slate is going to be a fantasy score. And we're going to take Kyren Williams for more than 16.5 fantasy score. So Kyren Williams has had an amazing role this season. Now, you look at his fantasy score, games. He's only gone over this line in 2 out of 5 games this season. He did have 1 game last week against Green Bay. He pushed this line. But you look at like the games he's almost gone over, or the games he went under. He barely went under at 15.2, at 14.4. You can just look at his projections this week and just kind of see that this line of 16.5 is a bit too low. I mean, he's projected for 90.5 rush yards. He's projected for 14.5 receiving yards. So he's projected for around 11 fantasy points just from rush yards and receiving yards. Then you got to factor in if he catches any passes. If he catches 2 or 3 passes, that's going to add an additional 2 or 3 points because Prizepicks, it is full PPR scoring, so you do get a point per reception. And then you got to factor in touchdown potential. Kyren Williams is heavily favored. He's minus 200 on DraftKings for an anytime touchdown in this game. And if he scores a touchdown, he should have a very good chance of going over this fantasy score line. And for what it's worth, Kyren Williams has scored a touchdown in every game this season. So he's been able to find the end zone every week. He's also been able to be efficient on the ground, been getting a lot of usage in the passing game. He's just a true workhorse type running back. You can look at his volume this season. He's got at least 20 touches in all but 1 game this season. In the game, he didn't get 20 touches. He got 16 touches, so he still got a ton of volume. That was also a blowout against Arizona. They lost that game by 31. So if that game was competitive, Kyren very likely would have gotten 20-plus touches in that game too. This game against the Raiders should be competitive. It's a good matchup for Kyren Williams here. I mean, the Rams are favored at home in this game, favored by 7 at home. So this does project to be a game script where the Rams will probably be playing from ahead, and they can kind of feed the ball to Kyren Williams. He should have a good chance at getting 16, 17, 18 carries minimum. I mean, he's got a 19 rush attempts line, and then he probably sees at least like 3 or 4 targets. He's got at least 4 targets, I believe, or he's got at least 3 targets in 3 out of 5 games this season. So we've got not only a running back that's just getting a ton of volume on the ground, but we also have a running back that's getting usage in the passing game, and he's getting all the work near the goal line. If the Rams get near the red zone or get in the red zone, get near the goal line, you know the ball's going to Kyren Williams, and he's going to have a good chance at scoring a touchdown. So 16.5 fantasy score. Definitely think this line on Prizepicks is a bit too low. You can kind of look around the industry. On Underdog, they have their line on Kyren Williams set at 16.85. So Underdog has a higher line set on Kyren Williams, and Underdog scoring is different from Prizepicks. It's half-point PPR over there, whereas Prizepicks is full-point PPR. So I think this line on Prizepicks should probably be like 17.5, 18. I think 16.5 is a bit low. And the NFL DFS projections that I look at, I like to compare Prizepicks lines to some other projections. The projections that I look at have Kyren Williams projected closer to 20 fantasy score. So looking at this line of 16.5 on Prizepicks, kind of comparing some projections around the industry, this line does look a little bit low. Really good matchup here for Kyren Williams. Big home favorites against the Raiders. Raiders have been pretty bad on the ground this season. They're giving up over 5 yards per carry. So I definitely think this is a spot where Kyren can be efficient, should get a lot of volume, and with that type of volume in this matchup, he's got a good chance of going over this fantasy score line, in my opinion. So that's what we're going to roll with, guys, as our 3 props for Sunday's NFL slate. We're going to take David Njoku for more than 4.5 receptions. We're going to take Kyle Pitts for more than 4.5 targets. And we're going to take Kyren Williams for more than 16.5 fantasy score. So if you guys are going to tell me on these 3 plays for Sunday, let's try and hit all 3 of these plays today. Let's make some money on the slate. I'm recording this video on Saturday. Been sweating out some college football plays. College football has not gone well for me kind of as of late. NFL's been going a lot better than college football has. So let's see if we can get back on track here. I know the college football picks that I gave out Saturday did not do very good. Right now we're 0-3 on our 4 plays we've given out. We'll see if one of the other plays hits, but it's been tough. It's been tough with college football, but NFL been doing a little bit better with that, especially like the primetime games. We've been doing really well. We'll see if we can get a win here on the Sunday slate. But again, guys, thanks as always for watching. Really do appreciate your guys' support. Make sure you hit that like button down below if you did enjoy this video, and hit that subscribe button as well. Also, if you guys are new to Prizepicks, make sure to sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code NOAH. When you do sign up, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account once you place your first lineup. So check out Prizepicks if you guys have not yet. But that's all that I got, guys. Good luck on this slate. Let's make some money, and I'll see you guys in the next one.